What's going on, everybody? My name is Brandon Clements. This is my co-host,
Julian Lara.
And sorry, I realized that I forgot to do that these past couple times.
It's I don't even. It's weird that you were like opening up. Like, okay,
just glazed over you. I was just
all right.
Not important. This is an episode of Dead Dialect, another one, and this is the third one this week, which is probably the most we've done in terms of or consistently in a while.
I think we've done three. Good. Like this is 3 days in a row we're podcasting, so it feels like we're driving.
Yeah. So we're going hard. It feels good to be back on it and to have a really good stream of guests, consistent guests. I feel like we've had these are some we're not only doing them more frequently than usual, but we're also having some like awesome people on, and it's making it very easy. Of course, Mark Austin. Then we had Brad and Jake from Regular Dude Report. And yesterday we had Omar Afra, which was amazing. And then today we've got a return guest who's also a good friend of mine, one of the hardest working musicians in the city, and someone who, man, I got a lot to talk to you about this time. I really do. But our guest for today is Mr. Kyle Hubbard. How are you doing, dude?
I'm doing great. What's up, guys? Good to be back.
It's good to see you, dude.
I'm back in the building, baby.
First time people can see your face.
I know.
Now they're like, oh shit, he's white.
That's the first time you've been in the studio, right? The new studio,
yeah.
The new setup, got the whole aesthetic going on.
I love it. Right? I love it.
You like our curtains?
I love the curtains.
Yeah,
cool, yeah.
Good color choice,
Target.
Yeah, big step in going to video is figuring this shit out because you remember. It's a little, I don't know. We had posters everywhere. It was cool.
It definitely had its thing going for it. But this is a more mature Dead Dialect.
Cool. I like that.
Yeah,
it's good to see you, man.
Likewise.
Obviously, I do see you pretty frequently, at least out in the city.
A good amount.
But we can't always sit down and talk as much as I'd like to about some of the things that have been going down in your life, my life, and the city, and just all kinds. Because there's so much shit. And first of all, I want to talk about your album. Let's just jump right into it. Because I remember I called you. I was like, hold on, man, I got to apologize because it came out and I was really busy. And I'll be honest with you, it came out at a time where I had some like personal shit going on and I was just a busy person.
Sure.
I wasn't listening to a lot of new music. Yeah. I was kind of holding on to like the music that made me feel better.
That comfort food.
Yeah. So a lot of new releases are just kind of flying right over my head. And obviously that doesn't mean I'm never going to listen to it because I eventually got around to your record.
Right.
But I felt so bad knowing that because I think about 3 months after it came out, I finally was like, oh, yeah, I got to check this out. I think you posted about it again. Oh, yeah, fuck, I forgot to check. I totally forgot about this. Let's get on it. And I was fucking blown away.
I appreciate that.
I was just like, holy shit. I think I got like 6-7 songs in and stopped and called you. I was like, hey, man, I'm so sorry it took me this long to listen to it. But I love it. It's awesome, and it's easily the best shit you've ever done, dude.
Oh, by far.
Yeah,
by far.
You're like, yep, sure is.
Yeah. I feel the same because when I first listened to it, sometimes you gotta wait till like the first track goes hard, right? The second track goes hard. Like, okay, cool. Maybe we got the first couple of songs, whatever. You want to fill out the rest of the album.
Right.
Like, that's every single track was just like, damn.
It's consistent.
I
was blown away.
Cool, yeah.
That's literally the best compliment you could give me is the consistency with the whole thing.
Yeah, precisely.
So how long has it been since you released a record? Because what was the last album before this?
Majestic Hotel.
Right,
that was September. Yeah, it was September. It was. You know what? It was almost precisely 2 years because when I was releasing the new album, I was getting the Facebook memories for.
It's been a little bit.
All the Majestic stuff. Yeah, I mean between Majestic and my debut was like 5 years. So 2 years is a good pace for me.
What were some? I mean, do you feel like there were? What were some differences in terms of like your songwriting or where you're coming from? I mean, I know that's a huge question, but clearly there's such an evolution in what has happened. Not you as a person, but in your music, it's so obvious that like you've grown.
Right. Yeah.
I just want to know what some of those big bullet points are in terms of what maybe fed into that.
Well, the mandate going into it, my personal mandate was like, I'm not going to rap about rapping unless it's in context of a much bigger concept.
Rap about rapping.
So I mentioned it. I mentioned the fact that I'm a rapper, which rappers love to do. I don't know if you've noticed.
Oh yeah.
I only did that maybe twice on the album, and it was always to service a different point. You know what I'm saying? And so that was a goal that I've actually had forever. It's really easy to just lull into that underground rapper rapping about being bitter.
So what does that really mean? What does that really mean then? When you're not rapping about rapping, what are you rapping about then? Just everything else?
Life.
Okay.
My real, like, not hiding behind this facade of like, oh, I'm a rapper because, and this is my life. I have all this drama in my life because I'm an underground rapper fighting. It's just like the mundaneness of my shit. Like, this is literally who I am. I've never been more Kyle Hubbard ever before, you know what I'm saying? There was no, like, nothing manufactured about the content. Not to say that there ever really was, but, you know, I would play into things that I thought would make for a good concept or an interesting narrative, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This time I just kind of went in and was like, I think the most interesting thing I can do is be mundane, you know what I'm saying?
So where do you draw inspiration then? If, like, are you just kind of looking at things that kind of remind you of, like, kind of getting day by day, going through day by day?
To a degree, yeah. So, like, the first song that I, like, completed for that was the Point of Life song, which is a song that's, like, about a lot of stuff. And it was the first one I wrote, and as I went into it, I was like, no rapping about rapping, and I had writer's block. I was like, I don't even know what to rap about. I don't know what to write about. I was like, I don't even know if I have a voice anymore. And then that, I was just like, you know what, fuck it. You're worried about how much weight you're gaining. You're not exercising enough.
Yeah.
You know, shit like that. Like, your girlfriend always falls asleep whenever you're trying to show her something that you like. It's just like, you know, it was just about that kind of shit.
There's shit here, yeah.
Yeah, and that kind of became, obviously, some of the songs have grander concepts than that. But that kind of was like when I was like, okay, I think I know what I'm doing here. And the other thing going into it was I really wanted to increase the live instrumentation on the album, and also the peaks and valleys of the songs. Like, I didn't want it to be like three 16-bar verses, the hook, and then we're out of here, you know, which is your standard rap format.
Yeah, that's one thing I was going to bring up, is that you're clearly using a lot more live instrumentation.
Yeah.
So why? I mean, I know that I've always been the person, if anybody has listened to this show, I'm the guy who, like, I think every rapper should have a band behind him,
for sure,
or at least some point.
Yeah,
I think you and I have even talked about this.
Yeah,
before,
we've talked about it. It's a logistical nightmare, but it's
very hard. Yeah, but I mean, man, it adds such a level of balls that you don't normally get with hip hop, and that you're seeing a lot more now. But was that maybe why you decided to do that? Because it's very easy to just decide on, like, this beat or this.
Yeah, because I could have just did it with my producer Cass and just kept it, you know, me, him, and the engineer, which would have been way easier. But I mean, it's just, you know, like, I listen to so many other genres of music, and something that I think other genres do more so than hip hop. And this is not to say hip hop doesn't do it, because it does, but other genres have been doing it longer, and you're more likely to hear it in these kind of songs, are like these costume changes, like these moments of a dramatic shift musically. You know what I'm saying? Like, rap has a tendency in a lot of ways, especially with the music I grew up listening to be 3 16-bar verses and a hook. You know what I'm saying? It's just like
very
there's
simplistic song structure.
Oh yeah,
yeah. There's no like guitar solo, or there's no like violin.
And like you said, it's easy to fall into that pattern. And
it's super easy, because I mean, that's how most people make the beats.
Right.
You know, like, you can get, if I was gonna shop through my guy, we build this shit from the ground up. But if back in the day when I would just purchase beats off of people, that would be the standard format. You know, just what you buy. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to get away from that.
So is this the first time you've really done that then, like, entirely?
Yeah. I mean, I dabbled in it very briefly on Majestic Hotel. Cass more so than me. But there's a song off of that album with Chase Hamlin that has, like, a whole, like, you know, like, piano breakdown and everything like that. And that was like, that's my favorite moment of my entire discography. I'm not even a part of it, you know what I'm saying? And I was just like, I want more of that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want that song to be like, because the song with Chase Hamlin on that album is like the standout, the pure highlight. Like, I don't want that again. I don't want there to be an obvious best song.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Damn.
So
and then you fucking release this album, and then it gets like, starts getting like a best of list.
It did well. I mean, I'm super happy.
Super well.
Yeah, it is cool how you incorporated all the instrumentation too, just because the way you're able to tell how you built the song. Like, towards the end of it, you got strings going on,
right?
Whatever, piano, whatever. When you brought in that spectrum too, I feel like it's probably a lot easier to want to focus on the music as much as your vocals.
For sure.
Because you know, you're going up and down. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I mean, there was a huge hurdle with this album, and so DJ Cass has produced all of my projects for a while now. Like, he's my guy. He's the 50% of Kyle Hubbard. But he was going through a terrible, terrible family tragedy, and he was unavailable for a lot of this album.
Oh.
So we had stuff that we had started early on that were just completely abandoned. He gave me the last song of the album. He just sent me the beat. He's like, this is all I can do for you right now. And I was like, well, I need this album out this year. And it was just like, that's fine. So like the whole like opera and violin outro was like out of pure necessity because the beat just ended. Like there was no like outro on the beat. I was like, fuck.
I need something here.
Yeah. So I mean, but it was great though. I mean, I'm super proud of being able to broker all this stuff. And I think as a rapper, that's because I'm not Gilla or somebody that makes his own beats. Like I have a vision, and then I have to have people help me facilitate that vision. All I do is rap. I can't read music. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know any recording software or anything. My passion is writing, and rap is the medium that I.
And it's probably been pretty hard to find that right balance in terms of like the music that you need to be behind you and that represents you. But
which is why working with a producer that I've worked with for so long, we have a shorthand and everything like that. He knows what I need before I do, essentially.
What fucking worked out, man. The record's really it's so good, and I'm no bullshit on that either.
I appreciate it. Man.
It's so sick. That's why I called you. That's why I had to like stop what I was doing and like
that made my week. I was at work. I was probably upset about something, life, and then you gave me that call, and it gave me a little bit of pep in my step.
Man, you've been but then you hit us with the bad news.
Yeah.
Oh shit, where are you going?
To Arkansas.
What's up with that?
I mean, all my family's in Arkansas. My girlfriend's in Arkansas. My niece is in Arkansas.
Okay.
It's just
fair enough.
See, I didn't necessarily know this. Like, I've known you for a while now, but I didn't know that you were so heavily. I mean, you're from Arkansas, right?
No, I'm from Houston.
Oh, okay.
My dad's from Arkansas, and that's where they retired.
So you got family from Arkansas.
Yeah, I got family up there, and I lived there briefly. Because I was just like music was going terrible. Work wasn't great. I was just out of a relationship. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go fresh start this motherfucker.
So how's the music scene in Arkansas?
Yeah.
It exists. I mean, one of the best rappers I know that I've ever met. He plays with a live band too. By hands down, bar none, the greatest performer that I personally know that I've ever watched. He's from Arkansas, and he actually played on my album release show because I think he's so dope. So there's stuff there.
Dude, I don't know anything about Arkansas.
Yeah.
It is a kind of a mission of mine to open up the road between here and there.
Yeah.
As far as show trades, because I've done a good handful of shows up there, and they're always well attended.
Really?
Because there's not a lot of it. You know what I'm saying? Like here, we know probably like 3 to 5 things in the same night that we could do almost every weekend. That's not the same way up there.
Oh, I see. So they're all going to one thing,
right? And they'll be like, it's not like, oh, Kyle Hubbard's in town. They're like, oh, there's a rap show in town. Let's go watch the rap show.
So when does that happen? When are you moving?
April. Depending, it all kind of no sooner than late March and no later than mid-April.
Do you have any kind of like Houston bucket list shit you got to knock out before you leave?
No, because I mean, like, I'm gonna be back all the time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
You're planning
like,
on coming back a lot.
Yeah, I can't give any details about it, but I'm already booked after I move. You know what I'm saying?
All
so
right,
like,
great.
Like,
I was wondering when I found out you're moving. I was wondering if it was like a move, like were you stepping away from, like,
no.
okay,
no. The first time I did, I was very public about it because I needed the attention. But this time, no. I mean, I'm not. I gotta get a job and I gotta get my life situated first. But my engineer lives up there. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be in a more conducive environment up there.
I see.
Man, dude, we're gonna miss you.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna miss everybody too. I'm gonna miss Houston. I mean, Houston is home.
Yeah,
and
but it's good to know that But that's the cool thing about moving to another place is that you do open up those avenues between here and that other place. Now you can book shows from here and there, and that's like a real thing.
Yeah, and I
build connections there to take here, and vice versa. I mean, that's like.
Right.
That's what it's about.
It's definitely a role I want to take on. I mean, I'm not the most like set up shit kind of guy, you know what I'm saying? But hopefully I can maybe get the right people talking to one another.
Did you like Star Wars?
I love Star Wars.
Okay, good.
I love Last Jedi.
You're not going to talk shit to me like Gilla?
No, I'm not. And I think the negative reaction has actually made me more like adamant about
like it
how
more.
much I like it.
You're like, fine then. No, I love it then. You fucking hate it. I love it. No, I'm right with you.
Dude, I loved it. I mean, the first time I watched it, I was just like, fuck yes. When I got out of the theater, I watched it 7 o'clock opening night. Me
too. I watched the the night before.
I think I responded like your Instagram story. I was like, I'm about to watch it too.
Yes, that's right. You saw it right before me. Yeah, you saw it like an hour before me, and I was like, fuck, I'm on my way now. Like, shit.
So,
oh, God.
I remember watching it and being like, wow, people are not going to see the shit coming. People are going to be blown away. They're going to love it.
Because people thought, and we've talked about this before, people thought that they knew exactly what the fuck was going to happen.
For sure.
Everybody did. They were like, well, dude, Rey's going to be a Skywalker. Snoke's we're going to see some Snoke flashbacks. We're going to get his backstory. We're going to...
Yeah.
And we didn't get any of that shit. We didn't get any of it. Like in every scene, we even got like setups that were like, look, you think this is gonna happen, and then it didn't happen at all. Like,
right.
Just like total bait and switch. Like it was. I loved it.
Dude, I loved it. I loved it for that reason.
Yeah, right. Because isn't that what you want? Like to be surprised, is to go into a movie not know what's gonna happen.
For sure. And how rarely does that happen these days?
Because even with Force Awakens, I had a pretty good idea what was gonna happen. Like I was like, okay, this is gonna happen. You can kind of figure it out as it's happening. This one, every scene, I'm like, okay, know what? Like I just had no fucking clue.
And this is like this is like one of the movies that most did not have to take a risk to pop off. You know what I'm saying? But they still did it because they could have made Empire, and it still would have been a huge deal.
Yeah, but that's a good point. They were just like, nope, let's go ahead and left field this. And
dude, the scene with Kylo, Rey, and Snoke's throne room.
Oh, that whole dude, with them fighting the Praetorian guards.
I was like, is this happening like that for real? I was like, is this the fucking like fan fiction right now? This is crazy.
It was brutal. It was super brutal.
Awesome. Awesome scene.
She like took their legs out and took heads off, and they were putting like lightsabers through eyes and stuff. Yeah, it was great.
I like how each trilogy has their own kind of like aesthetic when it comes to like lightsaber battles.
It's
like,
true. That is true.
Now it's a little bit more. It's a little slower because in the original trilogy, I don't think they had a lot of choreography.
No.
So
just some gentlemen with swords, really.
Right. And I remember we were talking to Alex about it, and he was kind of saying, I didn't really like the whole prequel trilogy style of lightsaber fighting because it feels like there's there's no cardio involved. They're just going off like the entire time. How long was that fight between Obi-Wan and Anakin? It's like fucking 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is great, but he said that in these they look exhausted.
They're going to get one lightsaber battle in this new one, and it was probably the coolest one I've ever seen.
I
don't know.
agree
It's
with
just
that.
more realistic. Like he said, like Kylo looked like he was getting winded a little bit towards the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah. By the end,
Like
tired.
uphill battle. And there's parts where I remember Rey, she started kind of like getting a little too wild and missing and shit like that. It's badass. Like I don't know.
It
some logic to it.
It grounded it. It made it a little more real for me.
Exactly.
Brutalized it too. God, it was that was a brutal scene. It was a brutal scene.
I was just playing Skate 3 when you walked in. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. I feel so rude. I was like, oh, hey, what's up? Just like playing Skate 3. I hadn't played it. I was super into skateboarding games growing up and haven't played that
I
one.
get it, man. I get it.
So I was just locked in and just was so rude to my guests that
I want you to live your best life.
Skate, dude. Skate 3. Those games are crazy.
You play a bunch of old ass games, man. Still.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not saying that you don't play new games too, because I know you like a lot. But sometimes like you just kind of get into like the older games that I guess you played.
They're good.
Yeah. They are. It's just like.
Classics.
I don't know why I'm not like that. Man,
some of them are just good, like because you don't really interesting. But
they
they hold up. They just hold up though.
Sure. I mean, of course, there's classics.
Even graphically, I mean, that game looks just about as good as a lot of games that are coming out now.
But okay, to your point, and I'm not disagreeing with you completely, but like Metal Gear Solid 2, I love that game growing up, and I tried to play it semi-recently, maybe a year or two ago. And it's like those tank controls, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, what
Resident
the
Evil.
fuck is this?
Yeah,
Resident Evil. I can't imagine how hard that should be.
Oh, it's awful.
And that turned me off.
It's not even fun.
Yeah,
it's really not even fun. Actually, that original one sucks. I downloaded it for free. Resident Evil. It was like free on PlayStation Store. I downloaded it and was like, cool, I'm gonna try it.
Is it like a remake
it was
or
awful?
Just
no, it was the original.
I realized half the reason why it was scary is because you couldn't figure out how the fuck to get away.
Right.
Because it's so hard and the zombies are coming at you and your head's
yeah, for sure.
Turn this way and then press forward. Like,
Code
switch
Veronica
gears
was like one of my favorite games ever, but I'd never play it again. I would never play it again.
See, I never played any of the other ones.
Oh, you just
but
played
they've changed a lot.
Yeah.
Like
now they're over the shoulder.
But the new ones are apparently like the new one was awesome. Like everyone.
4 was probably.
But you can play it in VR. Like this new one, you can play.
Yeah, that's the first person one, right?
It can be played entirely in VR, and I mean that sounds amazing.
Sounds spooky.
That sounds amazing, dude. That's one thing.
That's probably where I'll pop off on like horror stuff.
I'm really gonna have to just do it, dude. I'm gonna have to just take the dive and buy VR because you can for like $400 you can get if you have a PlayStation you can get VR'd up. And
I'm not in a huge rush. I do want one,
but it is starting. The library is starting to get a little fatter now,
It'll get better.
Thicker.
There used to be like 5 VR games that were
right.
good.
Yeah.
Now there's actually quite a bit that are pretty fucking good.
Skyrim is now in VR,
but that's not necessarily getting the best reviews.
Yeah, that's not.
But I mean, it's
cool. It's cool though.
It's cool. Yeah, actually, both of those, Skyrim and and Fallout. Just kind of
I knew Fallout. Yeah, I watched a YouTube review just tearing up.
People weren't
VR.
really digging it. They
Yeah.
weren't really digging it. They said it just doesn't work. The combat sucks. Like that it doesn't work. There's some things that are cool. Like in Skyrim, it's cool to like literally put your hands out and like you're emitting the fucking fire and shit. But other than that, like apparently you can't like actually pick a lock, or there's just some things that should work that shouldn't or that don't. It's a bummer. Either way, it's gonna take time. Shit's gonna take time.
Yeah.
I'm down though.
I think PSVR is the one. Is really where it's at. Right?
It also looks really good too.
Yeah, it's the coolest.
Well, it's cheap. One. It's the most accessible because all the other ones you have to have like a really high functioning PC. You know, like the HTC Vive and all. You have to have a really high, and that's so much more money than having a PlayStation.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, so
for
much
sure.
more. And PlayStation is just so versatile. You know, you can do fucking. I mean, game consoles in general are versatile, but just for an extra couple $100, you know, you can have VR. And frankly, I've been waiting for VR since I was a kid. Hasn't everybody been waiting for virtual reality? I think people we're still skeptical. That's what it is. Is we've tried a couple times.
That's true. That is true.
As I think as just people like who like games, we're just kind of like, I don't know, because I've heard this before.
Right.
Because I mean, there's always been like virtual reality, always, but it's never been this good. And I think people aren't really.
It's never been as convenient as it is now. You had to go. They had machines, right? You had to put a fucking like helmet over your head. And
dude.
Like
have you done? Have you put on any of like the new gen VR?
I have not.
That's what I'm saying. That's when you'll become a believer, like, where you're like, oh, because you have peripheral vision
look
up to about here. Which is about as far as you look, really.
Yeah.
But man, it's crazy. I mean, I think it's like 720. It doesn't go, or maybe 540 or 720. It doesn't go to 1080.
Okay.
But it still looks really good. And some of these games are just, I don't know, man. When you think about the capabilities for what could happen in a VR, like for instance, they have a VR game where your three friends have controllers, okay, and they're looking at the TV, and they're trying to kill you as a giant, and you're the giant. So you have the VR, and your three friends are on the ground, and you're trying to kill them. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're in your living room,
right?
Of course, you're all in the same fucking room, but like,
so it can alter like depth and
that's
like,
what I'm saying. Yeah.
Like
so
that.
for you're a giant, and you're trying to kill your little three friends, but who you're sitting next to on the couch or whatever. And I was like, that's so interesting. Like there's shit like that, you know, where that's super cool, man.
That is pretty cool.
It's super.
I'd have to
super
see it
cool.
in practice, though.
I'd have to show you. I'll show you some shit when we fucking shut it off.
Gotta get you back on games, man. You were telling us before that what was the last thing you said you played?
The last thing that I actually played, man, it had to have been Uncharted 4.
Uncharted 4.
That would probably be the last game.
That was a badass game, though.
Super badass game. Yeah, I love Naughty Dog games. I mean, there's been a bunch of games like I'm gonna play that.
So you're gonna play Last of Us 2?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Last of Us 2 is like I'm most amped for.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Last of Us, I love
this
Last
year,
of
right?
Us.
Didn't
Yeah,
they
it's
come
coming
out
out
this
this
year?
year.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure.
I think like in May or something.
I'm pretty
No
sure.
shit.
I'd be surprised if
yeah.
it didn't. I mean, they've been teasing it for a little while.
Like I remember not thinking like because I think they had the date and I remember it thinking being as around.
Well, what's a
the corner,
typical gap between sequels and video games?
Ooh, well, I don't think you can even. There's not really answer to that question because sometimes it's been fucking decades.
That's true.
You know, like
that is true.
And sometimes it's been 5 years or 10 years. It just doesn't. Well, it's been just. I think when did Last of Us come out? Like 5 years ago.
It'd be like
6
5 years. It came out in 2013.
Yeah.
I don't know what time of year.
And I don't know that they were even immediately going to make one.
Right.
I don't know that it was the plan.
Right.
You know,
Last of Us 2 will be like a day one.
That was a game. I don't think they knew how big it was going to be before it came out.
Yeah.
Like obviously they knew it was going to be popular, but I mean it won like Game of the Year and
back
shit.
A few times too. I remember reading about it like in 2010 or 11.
Oh really?
Yeah, I remember reading about it
was
in
one of
Game
those.
Informer. And I remember not hearing about it for like 2 years, and finally it was like, "Oh, Last of Us."
That's why I got a PS3. I was telling y'all earlier that I came really late in the life.
That's a beautiful
life
game.
cycle. Oh, dude, I love it.
The remaster is even. Have you played the remaster?
Yeah.
It's even prettier.
I want that shit day one too.
You know what I'm excited for? This is the first remaster I've actually been like legitimately excited for is Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh, okay.
I cannot fucking.
I didn't know they were remastered. I never played that, and I want to. So that's good.
This
to know.
is the time. Like that. First of all, that game is amazing. Like,
yeah, it's such a cool concept.
One of the greatest games like of all time. But man, they rebuilt it from the ground up. Like it's not just reskinned. Like they completely rebuilt the game, but it looks the same. I mean, oh man, it looks so good. It looks so good because now it looks like one of the best games. You know,
when's that come out?
Pretty soon, actually. I think pretty soon.
That's good to know. That might be the next game I play.
It's gonna be fucking awesome because that's a game where I think there's only 13 or 14 enemies or something like that. You know, there's nothing that attacks you in the world. There's there's only those big colossi.
I like that.
That's it. You're not killing little things or anything. You're only killing 13 things that entire game, but they're building size.
Right.
And it takes time. Sometimes like those battles are like 45 minutes long, and when it's done, you like take a literal breath, like shit. You know, I love that stuff, man.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. That's such a cool concept.
It's imagine that in VR. Someone said that on Reddit. They're like, imagine Shadow of the Colossus VR, but you're the like one person's the Colossus, and then one person is the guy on the horse.
That would be pretty cool.
And they're like, they'd have to figure out how to slow down your your hits, but I don't know. It'd be pretty cool.
It's worth exploring, PlayStation.
What's some music that you've been jamming, man, in the last couple of years? Maybe led to your or influenced your record, or just in general you've been jamming. Just what have you been feeling lately,
man,
in terms of music?
I kind of just listen to like the same playlist all the time.
That's cool.
You know, and
I'm the same way.
And it's just like it's like I'll go into like my Spotify Discover. And I'll peruse it like at the beginning of the week, and I'm like, all right, that's dope. And I'll throw it onto this playlist that I've been building for like the better part of a year. Yeah. And it just is like just arranges all.
What your daily mix? One of your daily mixes?
Sort of, yeah.
Do you go to the Spotify daily mixes?
Just to extract from my own.
Oh, you're actually building a playlist.
Yeah, that I've just been building. It's like my just stream of consciousness playlist that I've been building.
How many songs are in it?
It's only like 150 right now.
Oh, that's sorry.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty bad, but I'm still feeling these songs.
I expected like 1,000.
No.
See,
more. I don't consume a lot of music.
At that point, you want to just kind of be able to play it any time.
Yeah,
I think you like that's a good 100 songs or so.
Yeah,
like that.
Because every song is like a winner, right?
For sure. It's 10 out of 10.
Okay,
it's finally curated. Yeah. But I mean, I really don't consume that much music. I mean, I've been listening to my buddy Full Metal's album a lot because when he released it, I was like in the balls deep in my own shit. So I kind of didn't jump on it when it first came out. But I've been jamming that a lot. But I mean, like when I was working on the album, all I listened to were beats. That's like literally all I listened to. And just like different versions of the song, different rough versions of the song and everything like that. And then when the album was done, I was just kind of like, I'm going to listen to podcasts, I think.
Yeah. It's funny because now that we make a podcast, I never listen to podcasts.
Yeah. So like, probably the same philosophy.
I'm just kind of like, can't listen to someone talk for 3 hours. Like,
especially after the editing process when that's all you're doing.
When it takes me like 4 hours to edit these things, I'm like have to hear our fucking voices over and over again, the same phrases over and over. Hear my stuttering self over and over again. You
fucking insecure
bitch. I can't hear this anymore.
You guys got to get to the point where you have an editor for your own.
Right. I'd love to. Yeah, we've got a growing team though. It's more than me and Julia now, which has been exciting. We've got a couple writers. We've got a cameraman. Got a couple photographers.
Into the fold.
Expansion.
It's been crazy, man. So in total, there's like 6 of us now.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Five and a half.
Somewhere
around there,
Just want to produce content, it takes 1 or 2 people.
Yeah.
For a while.
No, for sure.
You know how it is, branching out, like trying to do more. I know you're a busy dude, and it's hard to. Sometimes you can only stretch yourself so thin. Do you ever feel like there's that real, like, for me, I know that one of the biggest struggles creatively when you want to, make stuff is okay, well. For instance, I know that I'm the kind of person that never will enter any kind of project if I don't think I can finish it.
Right.
Like I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready for this now, and I just won't touch it. And sometimes this good project, good idea will literally not happen because I've either overthought it or I wasn't ready to make it. And maybe it'll happen later. I don't know. But that shit bothers me sometimes, man. But the projects that I do start, I always finish. This thing, and I always feel really good about them. So, do you at all relate to the idea of maybe trying to, balance out how many eggs you're putting in these baskets and knowing like, okay, this needs more time and attention, this needs less time and attention, or are you the kind of guy that's like, I'm going to put everything into this one thing right now? Because I don't know, I'm finding that creatively there's 2 types of people.
I am very much like, I'm going to finish this thing that I've started. You know what I'm saying? So, like, even before the album was really, I even had a song. I was like, I know this is coming out in September of 2017. And there's nothing that's going to prevent that from coming out in September 2017. You know what I'm saying?
You set that goal.
I set that goal, and then that was where I expended all my energy. I was like, it has to come out in September 2017, which is why when I talked about earlier, like Cass being semi-unavailable for lack of better word, because he was very much involved the whole time. But, you know, that, like, I couldn't wait because I was like, September's almost here. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I was so about that time goal for release that, that was my complete focus.
It's so important to like have yourself to know that you're in the right mental place to create something, because as good as it is to make something out of like restlessness and maybe pain or all those maybe more negative emotions, I think what people don't really want to think about too much is making sure that you're healthy before you really dive into something that means a lot to you. Because there's been a lot of projects that I've, like, whether it was a band or something that, like, I probably shouldn't have jumped into it. And
that's extremely insightful, and I've actually never heard anybody say that before.
I mean, I don't know, because those things meant things to me too, and I was like, see, I like those songs, and now those songs are just gone. You know, and it's a very weird, and we've been talking to a lot of creative people recently, people who make a lot, and it's just, I find that a lot of them are just super aggressively, they'll just make shit under any circumstance. And I tend to look at myself and I'm like, I don't know if I'm like that. Like, I'm the kind of guy who was like, I think I need to take 6 months and recharge. And I just like, will sink under a rock. And then come back. And I don't know if there's a question here. I just think it's super. It's kind of interesting the differences in the way people
for sure.
Create.
And I mean, and people all have different approaches, obviously. But like I knew when I was like, I'm gonna finish this album, I'm probably not gonna make anything for like a year. But I know that about myself now. So like when I finished my debut album, and it got a lot of good press. It was the first time anybody cared about anything I did. And I was like, I gotta hit this right now. You know what I'm saying? And
because you're not the kind of guy that's making a mixtape every month either.
No. I'm not ever gonna be that guy. I'm 30 now. That ship has sailed. You know what I'm saying? So, but I remember trying to jump back into it and really not being in a great place in my personal life, and me getting to a point where I was like, fuck this, I'm moving to Arkansas. I don't want to rap ever again. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm not gonna let myself get to that point now. So like I was like, I finished my project. That's good. It did well for itself. We're gonna keep pushing it. You know, getting a little lighter touch as time goes forward.
But see, you almost thought your way out of the most important thing, or one of the most important things of your life, and that's playing music. You almost thought your way out of it. And that happens a lot to people.
For sure.
You know,
for sure, because man, sometimes one of the worst things that can happen to somebody is getting that big win, because you don't win forever. You're going to lose again. And just because you start losing again doesn't mean you won't win again. But you have to be prepared for that ass whooping. That's almost the worst ass whooping. Like, you know, because when you never taste it, you don't know. But then you taste it and it's gone. That's a bad feeling.
Yeah.
That's a really bad feeling.
I have seen that a lot. I'm trying to remember what documentary I saw, like a scene like that. It was either like a fucking fight documentary or something. Someone won the belt and someone told them, like,
definitely MMA.
This is the best it's going to get for you.
Yeah.
Right here. So make sure that you eat this, you know,
right.
And even if that's not true, I just thought that was good advice. Like, it
is good advice.
I was like, ooh, because then it really kind of grounds you and where you're at now, because things just could maybe just get worse tomorrow, and you never know. And for me, that I've always thought about that. Like I was like, yeah, like when the Volcom thing happened, you know, and they're like flying me out to California. I was like, I'm going to live this shit up, and I'm going to, because like I don't know that this could ever happen again, and it probably never will.
Right.
And you know, and if it doesn't, that's cool. Hopefully something else happens, but I totally understand that mentality.
Right,
you know, of maybe treating every single opportunity like this is the biggest opportunity I've ever had, and I'm going to treat it like that.
For sure, and treat everything like this is the last thing you leave in the world. You know what I mean? I mean, especially at this level, because, you know, I self-fund my projects. I'm about to be in between jobs, which I'm sure won't last forever, but, like, I couldn't make All Good Things Come again right now, because I'm not going to have the same kind of income. You know what I'm saying?
It's just so obvious that you did put that much of yourself into it, though, because it took time, first of all. You know, it took time, and anything that means that much is going to take time.
Right.
Anything. You know, you can't. Well, some people can just press shit out Omar Rodriguez Lopez fucking making an album every month. I mean, these people, some of these people are crazy.
I can't even imagine.
But those are crazy people. They're crazy people. You know, those are like anomalies, you know. In terms
of course, yeah.
But how many of those, I mean, a lot of them, obviously he creates a lot and means a lot to him, and it's not all meant to be ingested by the masses. But, you know, the things that we're trying to make are. You know, I would like people to listen to my show, and I'm sure you would like people to listen to your record. Yes. So that's a huge thing to consider as well. Is that something that you struggle with, like the balance between how much yourself you're going to put into this music and how much of it you want people to relate? Because it's almost like, I mean, I don't know how personal you want to get with your music, because to a certain extent, that might become something that's hard for people to relate to.
Right. Yeah.
So do you find yourself thinking about that, or do you just kind of make it selfishly and hope that they can gather something from it?
You know, I think that's probably something I concern myself with more when I was crafting my craft, for a stupid way to say it. You know, when I was really trying to find my voice.
Yeah.
But I think that I've just naturally become somebody that tries to put my own super personal shit through a more digestible filter.
Okay.
Just naturally, that's just kind of how I approach it. So I mean, I am concerned with people being able to relate to it and not being it. But I mean, I say that in that song "Last Bow" that I have off the album with just the acoustic guitar. Like, that was written for very specific people in my life, and it's my most popular song by a pretty good margin.
Sometimes that just happens, right?
Yeah. I think people can relate to the emotion behind it, but that was like the one time I was like, I'm going to let that filter down.
And sometimes the reason that people like those songs are the wrong reason. Like, they've like misinterpreted entirely. Like,
for sure.
They're just like, you know, there's been plenty of songs in history where people thought it was about something else, and it became huge for that, and then they're like, no, that was actually about this.
But I think to go back to your initial question, I think one of the main things I learned is, like, I'm never gonna reinvent the wheel. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm honestly not musically inclined. I can rap well.
Oh, come on.
But you kind of get what I'm saying, though. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then with that said, like, I'm not the greatest rapper ever, but one thing I have that other people don't have is my perception of the world and the way that I see things.
Because it's yours.
It's mine.
Yeah, it's only yours.
Just the way that I would describe something may not be the way that a lot of other people would describe something. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what I most like in my favorite rappers. My favorite rappers are Fonte and the Streets, and neither one of them are technical wizards, but they just say things that are just like, I totally get what you're saying.
Right.
I've never heard anybody put it that way, but I totally feel you. And that's just I just kind of want to be like your friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is how Kyle Hubbard sees the world. I'm having a conversation with him.
Interesting. Because I feel like you're going to, as you make more music and as this grows for you, that's going to be something that happens a lot more, is this maybe not necessarily struggle, but having to consider, because we've talked about this when we had like Moon Taxi on, or a lot of these people is like,
realizing when to shift.
How exactly realizing when you need to shift your craft to change a little bit, or for them or for you, and when, you know, like, especially when people have expectations for your music, and they're like, oh, well, this guy sounds like this,
right? Yeah.
And then the next record, like, oh wait, he sounds like this now, and sometimes they don't like how that sounds,
right?
You know, and that's not what I'm saying with you at all, but I just find that that's like one of the most interesting conversations to have with artists, is like, is asking them, like, how do you know when to change your sound?
Right. Yeah.
You know, like, how do you, or do you just make, or is there a part that's like, we should, you know, change this? Because some bands just fucking change, like, from record to record, and some of them say exactly the same.
It's true.
And that's why people love them. But I don't know. Does that ever freak you out? Like, thinking about that kind of part of your music that is going to be digested by people, and I mean, I know you kind of already answered that question, but does it ever want to make you back up from making it so personal, or putting yourself, because like you said, you're not just rapping about rapping. That would be easy.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely there's an element of that for sure. I mean,
because it's a personal thing to do, man. You know, talking about yourself the whole time.
And and I've fucking used my real name like an idiot. So like,
a cool little nickname.
It's like a tattoo on my face.
I like how you did that though, man.
Yeah, really I mean, I was just like, you know,
there's not a lot of people that do that.
Thank you. Thanks,
Kyle Hubbard.
It's like you do that. John Black has done that.
Yeah,
and then I can't really think of a lot of other people.
There's not a lot of people.
There's not a lot of people that do that.
What sort of challenges are you expecting to face now that you're going to move somewhere completely new?
Yeah,
as far as a musician.
As far as a musician, yeah.
I mean, I probably won't. I mean, at least initially, and maybe for a long time
Probably
after.
a little bit.
I'm not going to be very active show wise, which is it's gonna be kind of painful for me.
Probably just out of necessity too, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird, man. That's probably gonna be different for you because you play a lot.
Yeah, I know, but at the same time, it's a good thing because I would like to take the approach where my shows are more of a deal. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Because I play so often, it's like, well, I'll catch them soon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if I'm coming into town, maybe
shit.
like 2 to 3 times a year. You know what I'm saying? But I can already envision my next album release. Obviously, I'm gonna come here to do it. You know what I'm saying? And that's gonna be a big deal because I will be not only I'll have the new album compounded with the fact that I haven't been here in X amount of months. You know what I'm saying? And I don't ever expect to make a ton of money doing music or anything like that. But if I can create moments for myself, that I'll be a happy person. You know what I'm saying?
It sounds like you have a lot of room to just create a lot of hype for yourself. Just because you said there's not a lot. As far as the music scene or whatever going on, there's not a lot going on.
Yeah, and I think that that's an interesting challenge. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to expect, but I do feel that there is a void there.
Yeah.
And
push that record there, man. If you push that record over there, I mean that record is good enough. I mean it's obviously write music, sure, but I would not move there and forget about this album.
Oh, definitely not.
Because that fucking album is amazing.
I'm on this album for the foreseeable future.
I'm gonna write it for a while.
And you know what I like? You know what I wanted to mention this earlier. How you said that you saw me post it, and then you're like, oh, I forgot to listen to that. I'm glad to know that works. These delayed posts. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, you gotta
keep doing it.
You gotta get reminded. Yeah, because I got reminded. Like I said, I just was like, I don't know what the hell. I think we were doing the Volcom show, and then I was trying to do this, and then other shit went down.
Right. Yeah.
And then but then you posted about it. I was like, oh yeah, I'll check it out.
But
Holy shit!
There's probably a ton of you that haven't heard it yet for X, Y, and Z. So it's don't
you gotta
back
promote
off
yourself.
of shit.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of people do that. And it's like, dog. I don't know how much money you have to make music, but I used my budget up for a while, so I'm not moving on yet.
Yeah, you know I'm gonna ride this for a little bit. Dude, I watched this crazy documentary last night. You play that game Go, the board game?
Oh, you were telling me about this earlier. Oh,
Dude,
okay. Yeah.
So there's this movie called AlphaGo on Netflix.
Okay.
And it is about these guys that built this AI that could play this game called Go, and the AI is named AlphaGo. So the game Go, I believe, is a Korean game. It's thousands of years old.
Okay.
And it's looks like this board. The square board with a bunch of a grid on it, okay? And then you have white and black rocks each person does. Imagine a combination between checkers and chess, where you lay, instead of laying the block down inside of a square, you lay it on a corner of a square. Ultimately, the object is just to surround someone's rocks. So if I put 3 down, you want to surround mine in. So imagine it's like a war game or something. Or you want to block them. So if I have 5 blocks here on the right side, I can put, or 5 rocks here, I can, circle it off. Okay, either way, this game gets really, really intense and strategic, and it's way bigger than I ever thought. It's crazy over there. They have world champions.
Oh, wow,
and they're
okay.
these they're some of the smartest people in the world and stuff, and they're revered. These people just lines and rows of paparazzi taking pictures when they arrive off the plane.
Whoa.
It's insane. They're superstars.
Wow.
And they built this AI to play this game, and then they flew these guys in to play the AI. And there's the top 10 players, right?
Yeah,
throughout the documentary, the AI plays, I think, 3 of the top 10, and whoops their fucking ass.
Really?
Every single one of them. And I think the other one gets 2 wins at the very end. He ends up getting 2 wins, and it's like a comeback.
Over the AI?
They do 5 over the AI.
Shit.
But
Thank
it's
God.
a crazy documentary. But the craziest part about it is not that they made an AI that can play a game, but it's that the way that the AI was playing the game, because it's a strategic game. It's a game that you can trick people and fool people. So it was starting to be an asshole and trick people and bait them into shitty things.
Yeah.
And it started figuring things out and figuring things out that other people couldn't figure out, that the human brain can't figure out. So to give you an analogy, and this is the most mind-blowing part of it, is it was playing that game. What's that game where you have the little little paddle on the bottom? It's like an Atari game, and you're bouncing the ball, and the ball hits the
Pong?
chip.
Yeah.
It's not Pong.
Wait,
Pong goes back and forth. It chips this block at the top. So you have to bounce the ball off, and the ball bounces off and chips this block. All right.
Yeah.
This, normally people, when we play that game, we're focused on the paddle, and we're getting the ball. Doop, doop,
Right.
doop, and we're chipping away this block, and then maybe you're down to like 5 fucking blocks, and you're trying to hit them. Shit, and you're trying to hit them. This motherfucking AI figured out the perfect place to put itself.
Yeah.
Where that when the ball dropped, it went up and then to the side around the block, and then over the top. So it bounced up and down and just chipped itself all the way down. And like the scientists watching this, they're like, holy shit. Yeah. Like there's humans, like we can't, like, and these are the game developers of this game that were literally like, we didn't know you could do that. Like we developed this game, and that wasn't something. So like, use that analogy and apply it. This is the same AI that's AlphaGo that is playing this strategic, fucking board game. Now apply that to using this AI to something that could cure a disease or could potentially like start a fucking war. Yeah. Like it's starting to think. Like it's starting to think and consider things and kind of have emotion and be sentient. It's a creepy fucking documentary. And the way
what's the name of it?
It's called AlphaGo.
Okay.
And you should see some of these people when it beats them at this game. They're like disheartened, and some of them are freaked out. Like one of the commentators is like freaked out by it.
I can imagine.
Because it does this move, and I can't really understand it because I don't understand the game. But it does some crazy move that's like really rude and like insane. And he was just like
rude.
He's just like taken aback. Like I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand. And the girl next to him looks like she's gonna cry.
But and AI is getting too smart, dude.
It's a crazy, but it's a crazy movie, dude. It's a crazy movie.
I'm gonna check that out.
But the guy does beat it. Because it's like he's fucking pissed. He's the number 1 player in the world, and you see him. He's all shaking, and he's like, I'm at a loss for words. I don't understand how. I don't get it. So he comes back game 4, and he's like,
oh shit!
Fuck this fucking computer, and he beat it. Yeah,
he's gonna be our leader in the great robot war,
right? We're gonna need that guy.
Yeah, protect that man.
There's just a lot of obviously I've just told the whole plot of the movie, but there's a lot of implications behind that level of artificial intelligence that they built, which is so cool. It's so cool, scary, exciting. But
where do you draw the line on what AI is? Because it wasn't a computer, right?
It was a program. So it's a program. It's a program that can think, but it's not just algorithm based. And that's what I'm saying. Normally, a lot of these things would just consider the combinations, and that's what they thought it was doing. It was just considering the possible combinations of things. It thinks in like a branch structure, right? Like it's like this will happen, and then these 10,000 things will happen, and then
thinks
this
in possibilities.
But it was thinking in terms of like, well, if I do this, he'll think that I'm going to do this, and really I'm going to do this, and it's like. Hold up,
like 4 steps ahead.
But in a way, like
pull the plug.
And really, I can't even explain it because, like, it's at a level of like understanding that we can't comprehend. That's how it's able to do it in the first place.
Do you think AI is so far advanced now that even if somebody tried to make it regress, the AI would be like, no?
Maybe, but they did kind of touch on that in the sense that at the end of the day, okay. Maybe the human and the computer / AI played a game, and the computer / AI is the winner, right? It beat all these people, and then even won 3-2. But who's the real winner here? When we made that thing, like we made the fucking computer. We designed it. We put all of the like algorithms in there. We told it what to do. So to answer your question, I think no. I think at the end of the day, we made them. Like I don't know that they'll ever surpass. I mean, can you think there'll ever be a point where they can just keep themselves on? I don't know. I really don't know.
Depends on how far, because obviously we're reaching a broad spectrum of intelligence when we're talking about AI. Like artificial intelligence, I mean, just like humans, there's a broad spectrum.
Okay,
So you can. What if you make a super fucking like AI, like computer, to where it can't think for itself and it can't make its own decisions like that. Like a computer like that, like what you're talking about. Then no, I don't think. A big issue.
We made it, and that's what was kind of the most like for me. I walked out of that thinking it was kind of a triumph. Like I was like, well, I think we won then because we fucking made that thing.
This human hubris is going to be our downfall. This is going to be how we lose the war.
We're going to become our phone. Like we're just gonna become our phone.
Yeah, it's gonna be big old rectangles walking around.
Black Mirror, man. There's been some crazy. Have you watched Black Mirror?
Yeah, I'm all caught up.
Yo, was that fucking story true about that one AI that they brought online and it started talking in a language that nobody understood?
I don't know. I purposely ignore AI headlines.
There were two. Okay, I think if we're talking about the same story, there were 2 that started speaking to each other,
but they could not language decipher. It was like so coded
that we couldn't understand, and that. Like they were talking to each other, and we were like, "Whoa!"
What are they talking about?
When we had to shut them down. Like
That's not tight. That is not tight.
That's like the most creepy.
No, that is super creepy. Like,
Yes,
we're like,
dude.
what are these motherfuckers saying? What are they talking about?
Talking about-
They've been talking for an hour, dude. First of all, what does it mean they're talking? Like, I want to know what that means. They're communicating. So, what do they communicate? Like,
creating fail safes.
Is it like,
when
hey,
the
what's
humans
up?
shut us down, we'll store.
I know. Yeah. Is it, hey, what's up? What's going on? Hey,
it reminds me of those videos of like AI talking to each other, like literally, like just computer bots and shit, like responding to each other. Have you ever seen those conversations? Oh man, just like hi, like they're Siri versus Google, like, and they put them with each other.
So that's fun.
How do they do that?
That's fun AI.
Because they'll just literally go like, you trigger one and then trigger the other one, and then they think that the other one's a person. So they'll like ask questions and like, I don't know. It's kind of like when you call one like strip hotline and then call the other one and put them on with each other. And then
That's an expensive prank.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Let them go for an hour.
It's fucking totally worth it, man. And there's all kinds of cool any cool like stuff coming out that you're excited for? Any cool like nerd shit? Any cool music? Any cool, because there's a lot coming out this year, 2018. Right.
Hit me with some of the stuff coming out.
Well, Black Panther's coming out soon, which I'm really excited
Yeah, I'm
about.
excited for that. And I'm not a huge Marvel fan, but I am pretty excited for that. I think Marvel movies have gotten better recently.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
I think I don't know. I think they've always been great, but they're
Been a few stinkers, but nah. For the most
Civil
part,
War, I was like, you know what? I like this movie.
Civil War was good.
I rewatched Iron Man, which is what, the first or second one?
the
That was the
first
first
The
one.
first one?
Yeah.
It's great.
2008, right?
Was
Yeah.
it the first one, or was Incredible Hulk
It was
the
I
first
think
one?
Incredible Hulk was the first one.
No, it was Iron Man.
Are
I
you
think
sure?
Iron Man was the first one.
They definitely were the first two. It's one of
They were
those.
definitely the first two.
Yeah, but no, I think they're all great. I mean, that cast is so strong. I think they're coming to an end. They're starting to close.
Yeah.
They're going to start to at least switch off the new cast.
Yeah, they got you, right?
Because those cats are getting tired of it. You can tell.
10 years, man.
They've been doing it for a long time.
10 years, yeah. Iron Man came out in 08.
It's a lot of movies too. So, I mean, it's not just. And you think about it, it's like they've done a movie a year at least.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, not Marvel, but those actors, like they've appeared. Like Robert Downey Jr. has been in almost every single one.
Yeah.
You know, that guy's fucking busy as hell.
He's arguably the leader of the Avengers, and as far as the films go,
Yeah,
you know,
for
Captain
sure.
America's the leader or whatever.
No,
but-
he's for sure the de facto leader.
You know, I don't get excited for stuff anymore because of Justice League and Batman versus Superman.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know. You should have seen those coming.
But
should've
did
been
you see
good.
Wonder Woman?
No.
Wonder Woman
Man,
was
that
fantastic.
I'm sure you're right, and I'm being a dick about it.
You should watch
but
Wonder Woman.
I'll watch it.
You really
I'll
should.
watch
Wonder
it.
Woman was actually really good. It's easily the best one that
Uh-huh.
they made.
And
Like, for
what's-
sure.
The Justice League just came out, right?
I haven't seen that one.
I did see it. Now that I'm thinking,
I
it was
haven't
some good
seen
scenes, man. It's pretty good.
He didn't
I
like
liked
it.
I didn't
You
see
didn't
it. I didn't see it.
Oh, you haven't seen it.
But it's just like, I don't know.
Well, did you
man.
see the extended cut of Batman v Superman?
No, I haven't. I haven't yet seen it. I heard it's better.
Way better.
But see, so I started to rewatch Batman because it was on HBO. I was like, I'm gonna rewatch it. And the second Lex Luthor scene, I was like, I can't.
Nah, dude. Yeah.
I can't because
They
I
give
love
him-
that character, and that is such a.
They give him a little
Fascination
more.
of him.
They make him. I agree that I don't like his characterization, but he at least is more fleshed out in the director's cut.
Oh, well, that's.
He's got more
yeah.
scenes that make more sense. He's not just.
Yeah, there's a whole subplot that kind of went under the radar because they just cut it out.
Yeah, that's right. I'm trying to remember what it was, but there's a subplot that's not there that adds a lot to the movie, and then I was just like, is it that?
It just gets deeper. Like,
I don't remember.
It gets deeper on why. Because I remember walking out of the theater when I first saw it and
I
not
was like,
really
why-
understanding why
yeah.
do they hate each other like so much. Like, and there, I mean, there was like big
Yeah.
reason, but you just didn't feel like, is that really? Couldn't they just sit down and talk?
There's
But
a YouTube series I watch, and it's called Good Bad Flicks, and they basically go into like the backstory of like the production of movies.
Oh yeah,
And dog, the amount of movies that get butchered by like cutting, by editing is
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
Man. They're like so many potentially awesome movies are terrible because of what happened in editing. It's insane.
yeah, or just post production can ruin a movie.
Yeah, and
That's
I guess it
interesting.
makes sense, but I never thought about it. But then like watching all like Blair Witch 2 could have been really badass.
I actually enjoyed that
yeah, I
movie.
liked it too.
I haven't seen it. See, I like to watch things about movies.
But I'm a
maybe-
Blair Witch fan. I don't know. I'm easy to please now.
I guess I'm
trying
just
to-
easy to please. Yeah.
Nowadays, I am. But I think it's also because I understand editing and filmmaking and like writing
Yeah.
and screenwriting and all that stuff. And I'm trying to look at it from that perspective when I watch something new or whatever.
I'm like, oh, these cats made a good flick.
Yeah,
like,
they
these
made
are good. These are good movies.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't do it better.
I thought Blair. I thought. What was it called? It was just called Blair Witch. Yeah, I thought it was fucking badass. I bought
Are you
it.
talking about the most recent one?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm talking about the sequel.
Oh,
that
you're
came
talking about
out,
Book
like-
of Shadows.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that
Oh.
movie's
Yeah.
dog shit.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
See.
not
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's enjoyable because it's corny.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's pretty
so
bad
derived
movie.
from like the original concept.
That's so
like,
funny. I thought you were talking about the new. Well, that's the first time I ever heard Queens of the Stone Age was in that movie.
In the Book of Shadows?
Yeah, it's in it because it's like the lead song. Every time they go to a flashback when they're like fucking on drugs and naked and cutting people.
Oh yeah.
They're playing Feel Good Hit of the Summer.
Yeah, Feel Good Hit, yeah.
Well, see, it wasn't all bad.
It's not the most like sinister song either. It's kind of a fun like
nicotine, yeah, but they make it creepy. They make it creepy. Yeah, and they're like cutting people's stomach open. And stuff.
You know, a
That's
movie I rewatched.
Movie, yeah.
Have you ever seen The Crow?
Yeah, the original one.
Yeah,
it's good.
I love that movie.
It's
I
great.
watched it like all the time.
Have
as
you
a
seen
kid.
the 3 sequels?
I've seen the City of Angels. This guy made a movie or a show about that movie.
Is that the one with Edward Furlong in it? City of Angels?
No, that one was a straight to DVD one. I didn't see those. I didn't see the straight to DVDs.
Oh, dude, that one's bad.
Edward Furlong.
Oh man, because he's short. He's just not an intimidating looking dude.
Yeah, I think I've seen him in his Crow get up.
Furlong is from T2,
yeah.
And he's just. But at this point, he was a drunk and just did not. It's bad. Look up some scenes from The Crow with Edward Furlong. It's hilarious.
I'm actually gonna do that as soon as I get.
They're remaking it, I think.
They are. I think they've been remaking it for like forever.
While. Yeah,
it's like
I'm okay. That's one of those things.
What do you think when people say like Hollywood's running out of ideas? Do you agree?
I think Hollywood has always been running out of ideas. I think if you're saying that now, that's bullshit. Because even some of those popular movies are remakes. Mm-hmm. You know, Scarface is a fucking remake.
That's true.
The 30s.
That's true.
And I just it's like who can you name? I mean, I don't know. Or it's an adaptation of something. The Godfather is an adaptation of a book. You know, so when you say you're running out of just adapting comics or doing sequels and stuff, when have we not done that? When have we not adapted books or remade old movies? I mean, Dracula is a fucking old story that was adapted from a book that was remade into a movie like 14 times.
All the Disney movies.
Did you guys know this is so sorry to change subjects, but I found this out, man. I didn't know that back in the day, Universal, instead of dubbing over their movies in Spanish, they would just make an entire new version. So at the same time.
No shit.
Yeah. So this is crazy.
At the same time.
So Dracula with Bela Lugosi, which is often regarded as the best Dracula film ever and the greatest Dracula, he's the greatest Dracula actor, is not. It's not. The better one, and a lot of people, and this is fucking, I know there's going to be people who are like, bullshit. Bela Lugosi's better. But there is a strong argument that the Spanish production is far superior. And they would make it at night. So whenever they were done filming the American version, they would shut down, and then the Spanish production would come in and film their version.
No shit.
And what they would do is they would look at the sides or they would look at the what they were filming from that day. I forget what it's called. They would look at what is the word for that?
Dailies?
The dailies. Yeah. There you go. They look at the dailies, and so imagine that you're going in to make a movie, and you can see the dailies from someone else making the same movie, and you're like,
crazy.
Okay, well here we can do this differently, or we can do this better. So, or well, you know what, this would look better, and so that's what they did. So a lot of the shots are just far superior, or they're like
on the Spanish
longer or shorter. Yeah. So there's a strong argument the Spanish version is the better version.
No shit.
Yeah.
I never knew this.
Yeah, and a lot of the sets are exactly the same because they used the same sets in the same night.
Same actors and everything?
Not the same actors.
Same story?
This is an entire new, different production team.
Okay.
The only thing they shared was the sets. You have same scripts, but new actors.
Wow.
New, just same production. Yeah, so this is what they would do back in the day. They wouldn't just dub it. They did it for a couple different films, I believe. But this is probably the most like famous example, even though it's not very famous. But yeah, you can look up that there's on YouTube. There's like scene by scene comparisons of like the Spanish one versus the American one, and the Spanish one just tends to be a little more stylish on some of the shots. They just look better. They're longer. There's obviously some better. I don't know. I just thought that was fascinating. Though I was like, that's so interesting. Yeah. That's so interesting.
Yeah, make a movie twice.
I'm starting to see now like how YouTube is useful for finding shit out. There's channels that have like just cool shit like that. People. Oh man, I utilize. Do you use YouTube a lot?
A lot.
Yeah,
a lot.
You know what
only like for like the past year.
It's amazing.
Who are some of your
go-to channels?
Hunts?
I like Good Bad Flicks, like I said. A lot of like movie stuff. I like.
Me too.
I like H3H3 a lot.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah, I like them a lot. I like Philip DeFranco a lot. Man, I'm subscribed to a lot of shit.
Yeah.
If somebody who has like some really interesting content and like I like 3 of their videos, I'll probably just subscribe to them. Yeah. Because it's like why it doesn't affect me at all.
Captain Christian. Check out Captain Christian. Captain Christian's really good. Yeah. He does breakdowns like pop culture stuff.
I love that shit.
Behind the screenplay, or what is it? Behind the screenplay.
Oh, I've watched that too.
That guy's great.
Do you guys watch Red Letter Media at all?
Yeah, they're great too.
I love them. That's probably my favorite.
Cinemassacre. I love Cinemassacre.
Yeah. We watch a lot of.
There's some weird ones like Report of the Week.
Oh yeah, YouTube is a very, very interesting. It's a very interesting platform, man.
There's it's mind blowing to me that like H3H3 sticks out to me because like I watched them early on. And
they're huge,
and they're huge now. I'm just like, dude, this is crazy. I thought this was just some niche shit that I was into.
Yeah. No, they are huge. It's actually kind of blows my mind how big they are.
Yeah,
because they're
crazy,
just weird people. Like they're just normal weird people. Like they're friendly as fucking. They're great. I love them. But like, there's nothing particularly like, like. I mean, I don't know how to put it. It's just like they're just kind of normal people. They're not pretty. They're not.
What's the draw exactly?
Yeah,
that's it goes back to what I was saying with my music. Is like it's just the way he sees things. It's just the way that he frames his thoughts.
He's such a nice guy.
Have you met him?
No.
Oh yeah, but just in general.
No way.
You just tell.
No, you can just tell he's a nice guy.
Yeah, no, he does a lot of stuff for like charity and shit too.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. Listen, man, we just hit an hour.
Oh wow,
we did it already.
We did it. It was fun.
It's that easy. Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Time flies. Yeah. This is how it works recently. We've been keeping it capping it off in an hour for YouTube just because we find that people, start to peter off after an hour. They they decide that they don't want to do it anymore.
That's fair.
I don't know what that's about, but
it's a challenge.
But man, I'm gonna be sad to see you go.
I'm gonna be sad I can't hang out with you guys.
But we should do another do a drunk table or something before you leave.
Yeah, sounds good.
We should bring a bunch of us, maybe you and some of the homies, and we'll fucking we'll just pack in at this table.
I love it.
We'll get some mic splitters. We'll get like 6 of us at this table. Make a drunk table, everyone before you leave.
Man. Yeah, that sounds great.
I think we should do that again. That sounds great. Because I'm not done talking to you.
Yeah.
But I at least wanted to get you on here to really kind of dive into your record.
I appreciate it.
And, maybe the creative process, because for me, it's a very cerebral, personal album. And I really wanted to talk about that, and I'm glad that we have the opportunity to.
Me too, man. Yeah. Thank you for allowing me the platform.
No, fuck no. That's our goddamn, this is what we do. And you're the kind of person that we like to have on, because I can tell you everything you're creating is from the kind of place that I feel like everybody should be coming from when they're creating, and that's why it's our obligation to offer that medium/platform for people. We've said this show's it's not about us, it's just not. It's about you and the people that listen, and yeah, man, it's gonna be sad to see you go, because I've always felt very I like you, and you're one of the cats that I met, and we were just like, fuck yeah. Kyle's a real deal.
Likewise.
We don't hang out with a lot of people. Mm-mm. We don't, but I'll hit you up occasionally. I hit Mark Drew up.
Yeah, Mark's
there's a couple of y'all that I actually like, that we actually enjoy.
And anytime you come back from Arkansas too, every single time actually, just we'll have you on.
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah.
Let's do it, man.
Sounds good.
We're gonna hang out after this though, because I got some stuff to show you.
Cool. Let's do it.
All right, guys. Oh my God, I don't even know what's next. A
lot of editing.
I know, a lot of editing. In terms of episodes, we've got some cool stuff, so we're going to keep it local. Coming up next week, got some local acts that I have to confirm, but they're definitely exciting. Yeah. And then we're going to probably buckle down for a little bit and get ready for In Bloom and see what's up there, because we got some big plans. And then we finally have some progress on, or not progress, but we've got some news on In Transit. Yeah, so we're going to be dropping that soon. Yeah. And finally get this Volcom train running out of the station, because it's been sitting for a little bit, and I'm running out of coal. I'm watching a lot of Titanic shit on YouTube. a lot of Titanic shit. I've been thinking of coal and shit, dude. I want to buy a piece of coal from the Titanic. You can buy one. You can buy it because they've recovered a lot of it. I want one. You can get a little
You can get a
quarter-sized piece of coal from
Be a
the
good
Titanic.
Christmas present, huh?
Julian?
I wanted to ask you here, guys. Conquistadors. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
What
How'd you find out about that?
I think they told me we had Regular Do Report on. They were like, ask
They were asking about the
yeah, asking cricket.
You did. Good on you.
What was that? Was that
It was a project that actually I was in with Jake Rawls. It was like the first time I was out of the music scene. With Jake is one of my oldest music friends. It was a terrible project with terrible music that I was a part of.
Though.
I like it. That's a good name. That's a funny name.
You're like, nah.
Exactly. That's a problem. That's a problem.
No, man. Bring it back.
Yeah, but no, just it's all terrible.
Go to Arkansas, rework the concept. And
It'll come back
That actually
stronger.
might pop off in Arkansas.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Subscribe, like, share, do your thing. Please look up, and do all the good shit to Kyle Hubbard. He's amazing. We love him. His music is amazing. What's the best place to get your record? It's on iTunes, Spotify, all that good shit.
It's all on that stuff. If you really want to support me, please go to my Bandcamp, purchase it directly. But a listen anywhere is super appreciated.
Okay, what's the Bandcamp?
KyleHubbard.bandcamp.com.
Okay, cool. I'll put it up on the screen right there. And all right, guys, we love you. Bye-bye.